Good evening, everybody. This is Karen Batty, Senior Director with the Pampered Chef. It is Tuesday, September 5th, 2017, and this is Cooking Show Training Night. And this is one of two foundational trainings that we recommend for all new consultants. Tonight, we're going to be covering everything you need to know about the cooking show, start to finish, from the time you walk in the door right through order processing. The other foundational training that we recommend for all new consultants is Business Basics. That is also via Zoom, and it happens every single month, and it'll be 2 weeks from tonight, which is September 19th. And that covers all the stuff we do behind the scenes to have a successful business. So between those two trainings, you should have a good foundation to get the ball rolling. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to do a little screen share here. I'm old, so I'm always surprised when it works. Yay! Not too long ago, I just used to hold pieces of paper up and say, here's a screen share. So this is pretty high tech for me. Do you guys all have this yellow sheet of paper, the one with the light bulbs on it? That was one of the first handouts. I suggest keeping that handy, and anytime you hear something that really speaks to you, that you say to yourself, oh, I do not want to forget that, go ahead and write it on the light bulb, because you'll probably take lots of other notes, but if you're like me, you might not get to go through those notes as thoroughly and as completely as you'd like afterwards. But at least if you write the big ideas on this piece of paper, it'll be easier to take action on the things that really spoke to you. All right? Okay, so when it comes to the cooking show, it's good to start with the end in mind. Okay, what I mean by it, think about what you hope to get from your cooking shows. So I want you guys to unmute and tell me, what do you hope to get from your shows?
Lots of other bookings.
Bookings. Sarah, I'm so glad you said bookings first, because a lot of times people say sales first, because after all, we're in sales. But booking should be our #1 priority, because that way we'll always have future business. Yeah, we want bookings. What else do we want?
Customer contact, like you want to reach out.
Right. We want to build a customer base. You don't want your shows just to be a series of one-night stands. Yes, many of the people there you will never see again, but you want to build a loyal customer base at your parties. Absolutely. Yep. What else? We want to sell some stuff, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
I want to say it's good to say bookings first, but you want to get some sales. And what's the other thing we do with our business?
Recruit?
Yeah,
share our business.
Yeah, we invite people to consider the business. And just like you guys were interested for your own reasons, at every single party, there are people there, and we never know what their stories are. And not only is there a room full of people there probably, but each one of those people probably knows 20 people well. So if you've got 10 people at a live or a virtual party, you've got to be thinking about 200 people who could potentially join your team. Okay? So that's what we hope to get from our shows. If we have sales, bookings, leads, join our Facebook so that we can communicate with them over time. This is what we think of as a successful party. What do you think our customers are hoping to get from the party when they come to our party?
Yeah, free stuff.
Free stuff. Well, the host gets free stuff. The customers, there might be a drawing, so they could get something for free. Yeah. What else?
Knowledge of our products.
Yep. They like to try out our products, get their hands on things. Sure. But do you know what the #1 thing they say they want from a Pampered Chef cooking show? Fun.
Well.
We're at a party after all, okay? So I've been doing Pampered Chef, I can't believe it, but for almost 21 years.
Wow.
And for 20 of those 21 years, I've not just been a consultant, but also and when I go to parties where I'm training new consultants, I always say to the crowd, we are here to serve you. What do you guys think makes for a successful Pampered Chef party experience? And here's what they say, basically 4 things. Fun, food, they like to eat stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They like to gather with their friends. They do like to get their hands on the products. They like to play with the products. And then sometimes they say the wine or the margaritas, depending on the.
Yeah.
That's what they are hoping to get from a Pampered Chef party. And this is important for us to keep in mind. Okay. Now, here are some things that I've been throwing that question out there for 20 years. Here are some things I have never heard a customer say. They have never said, oh, I like it when the consultant has all the page numbers memorized in the catalog or knows all the prices off the top of her head.
Right.
They have never even said that they like it when the consultant has in-depth product knowledge. Now, I'm not telling you that product knowledge is important, but it is not what our customers are primarily looking for. They are there for the fun, get their hands on the products, try a new recipe, maybe learn a quick tip. Okay, so this is really important for us to keep in mind. And I hope that it puts your mind at ease, because if you are like most new consultants, what are the things that we worry about? Oh my goodness, what if I don't know the page number? What if I forget the price? What if I don't know the answer to their questions? So not to worry, because pretty much they really couldn't care less about that stuff as long as there's some margaritas happening and they get to play with the food chopper or the manual food processor. Okay, but that being said, the best parties, the most successful parties, are the ones where we all walk away having our needs met. We get sales, we get bookings, we get recruit leads, our customers have fun, they get their hands on the products, and they learn some quick tips, okay? So what we're going to be talking about tonight is a very tried and true way for people who are brand new and don't know a lot about the products to get through a show where everybody feels successful. You guys excited about that?
Yes, very much so.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. But before we talk about the party itself, I want to talk about, before we get to that party, some of the habits you want to have in place. You want to get to the party on time. On time for us is generally 30 to 45 minutes ahead of time, because we need to set up, we need to kind of gather our thoughts, make sure all the ingredients are out and prepped, okay? It also gives us time to greet the guests. This is really important. I like to have things pretty much set up by the time the first guests start rolling in, because once they roll in, I want to be focusing on them and making sure they are having fun, okay? And that I'm connecting with them, right? Because let me ask you something. As a culture, do we invite strangers into our homes?
Not generally.
No, right? And yet that's kind of what we hope happens, right?
Right.
Party. And yet I don't feel like I've ever been invited into a stranger's home. I feel like by the time the party's over, I've met a new friend and they're invited over. So the sooner we can be not strangers, the better. And that starts as soon as the guests walk through the door. Okay, you want to start the show on time. And on time has a little bit of leeway. I say within 15 minutes of the time we say on the invitation. Now, there are a few really important reasons why this is important to do. What do you think? Why do you want to definitely start your parties on time?
Because you're only going to hold their attention for a certain amount of time.
That is true. Most people have to work in the morning or get up with kids or both, right?
Right.
You want them to be able to get home in plenty of time, right? And yeah, if we start late, they're going to be rushing out the door before we're done. Why else? There's a couple other reasons. Well, think about this. Whatever you do at one show, you're setting the culture, your parties, okay? So if you have a start time of 7 o'clock and at 7:15, the host is saying to you, oh, there's a couple more people, they're driving in together, they'll be here in just a few minutes, can we wait for them? And then you don't really start till 7:30. Now you got 8 or 10 people in the room, and 2 of them book. Okay, and they invite their friends over, and some of them are the same because they all work together. What
Mhm.
time do you think those people are going to show up at the next party?
A half an hour late.
Yes. Now you're going to be starting at 7:45.
Right.
Okay, so you don't want to do that. So if a host says, "Oh, some people are on the way," I say, "That's okay. I really want to honor the time of the people here. We don't eat for a little while, so even the people who are late aren't going to really miss that much. So how about we go ahead and get started?" I don't even have to say that anymore because it's the culture of my shows that we start. And when people come in, I don't make them feel badly for being late. I just say, "Hey, welcome. 5 points for being late. Ask the person next to you what that means." And I'll tell you about points later.
That's
But
cool.
I just welcome them, very friendly, and then pull them in and then keep going. But there is another reason that you want to start your parties on time. If we start on time, we end on time. If it's a 7 o'clock show, you might be cooking and talking for about 45 minutes or so. Now it's 7:45. There's nobody rushing out the door, throwing their order at you and leaving. Okay? But if you start your party at 7:30 and it goes till 8:30, now they've got kids that need to get to bed, or their husband's calling, texting them because the kids are acting up because he can't get them to settle down. And people think, "Oh my gosh, I got to get up in the morning." That's when you're throwing your orders at you and leaving. You guys said you wanted to get bookings, and you wanted to build a customer base, and you wanted to get leads, for other parts of the business. So you don't want to miss out on that conversation that you have at the full service checkout, because that's where all of those things happen. We'll get an order from them no matter what. If they've been at the party, they can throw their order at us and leave. If that is not the main reason, that's not the only reason why we're there. Like we said, we want to get all those other things as well. We want to help people who want to have shows have them. We want to get information to people who are interested about the business. If they're throwing their orders at us and leaving, we're not going to be able to talk with those people, and good luck getting in touch with them after the fact. It dramatically decreases after they walk out the door, our ability to really connect with them in a meaningful way. Okay? So start parties on time. Keep it simple. One recipe. All right, everybody hold up your right hand. Stephanie, I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear.
I only do one recipe per party.
I will
Only do one recipe per party.
Okay. Now, if there's a large crowd, you could double the recipe because it doesn't take twice as long to make 2, or you could get there early and whip one of them ahead together like a lava cake or something that's really quick and easy. But let's face it, most of our hosts have plenty of food out.
You're so funny.
They have salsa, they have cheese and crackers, whatever. So most people have blown their budget in the first 5 minutes. We're not going to really get them to buy more by showing them way more product, okay? And so we want to leave them wanting more, not wondering, good Lord, when will this thing end? Because remember, they're there for fun. They're there for food. They're there to visit with friends. But we want to make sure that they have time for that. One very tool-intensive recipe per party is what I do. And when I'm looking at a recipe from Pampered Chef, you guys, you get recipes that go right in hand with the products in your kit. They're all online. Just pick 1 or 2 that you like and just offer those 2 recipes to your host and say, which one would you like? But don't just look at the products that Pampered Chef says to use. If you have other Pampered Chef products at home because you've made purchases in the past, or you've hosted, or you've gathered more products as a consultant, feel free to pull in more products, okay? So if a recipe tells me I need the simple slicer, I can pull in 3 or 4 other things. I might use the spiralizer on some of it, the simple slicer on the other, the knife on the other, So whatever products you can pull in, go ahead and do that so that people can get their hands on as many products as possible. And then the other thing that I'm going to encourage you to do is use the outline that I'm giving you for at least 8 to 10 shows. Just follow the system blindly. After that, you can tweak it to sort of make it fit you and your personality a little more. But in the beginning, swear to God, I won't lead you wrong. Just follow me blind and do what it says. Okay? All right. So get to the party about 30 to 45 minutes ahead. The first thing I do is I look for where I'm going to set up to do the cooking. This is my kitchen. Okay, so in my kitchen, I have a nice big island. There's also a table. So in my house, there's a couple of options. We could use the island. We can use the table. I'm just picking the biggest, flattest surface I can find. By the way, something you might want to write on your light bulb sheet is you can have your host send you a picture of their kitchen ahead of time. Kitchen, dining room, whatever areas they think we might want to use, they can send you those pictures ahead of time so you can kind of wrap your brain around it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So the first thing I do is I figure out where I'm setting up my products. So this is sort of set up to cook. What do you notice about this?
There's different stations.
Yep, I do sort of a gather round. Everybody gather around. And the flexible cutting boards are all around the perimeter. So there really is no head of the room. There is, right? Everybody's just gathered around, like the Knights of the Round Table, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Whose spot is this?
What else do you notice?
A power tool in the center.
Power tools in the center, that's also where we're going to be putting the food. So yes, but absolutely. And if I was using the double burner grill pan, that would be out there too, right in the middle. So everybody can see that and reach over and touch it if they want to. Yep. And I'm glad. Oops.
We're doing Chinese for dinner.
Okay. And I'm glad. Did you hear we're having Chinese for dinner? Woo-hoo.
Sweet.
So,
Sign me up.
I'm glad that you noticed there's a power tool in there. A power tool is one or two big ticket items that maybe most people can't afford to buy on the spot. If they can, great, woohoo. But it's going to be one of those tools that people will very often book to get. So you want to make sure you're using at least two power tools, okay? In this picture, we've got the rock and the spiralizer. But you know, a lot of times I'm bringing that double burner grill pan, things like that. So you want to have a power tool in there. Also notice there's ingredients there. There's some zucchini on the left. It's been washed. I trimmed the ends off. On the right-hand side in the batter bowl, I don't know if you can tell, but there is a sweet potato in there and it's been peeled. Down by the garlic press on the blue cutting mat, you really can't tell from here, but I've pulled 3 or 4 cloves of garlic apart, you know, so people don't have to fight with it. Down where the slicer is, at the head of the head of the picture, there's an onion that is peeled. Okay, so when I get to the show, the first thing I do is say, okay, we're setting up here, and I run through the ingredient list with the host because the host supplies the ingredients. Now it's 30 to 45 minutes ahead. So if the host says, oh, I got garlic powder, I didn't realize you needed the real deal. There's still time. They can text some people. Well, who do you know that uses garlic? Or does your husband, can your husband run to the store real quickly for us? What are you looking for?
Just an extra piece of paper to write down what we're going to order.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Welcome to my life. Home-based business, right? Okay, so so that way, if there's an ingredient missing, someone can run to the store, not me. They can call or text somebody who's coming to say, hey, I forgot the garlic. Do you have any? Okay, so we've got time to figure that out. Okay, so any questions about the setup as you see it here? Okay. The next thing I do after I figure out where we're going to cook is I figure out where I'm going to be doing the order processing. Okay, so you're going to set up your office. Okay, so right here, can you guys see my pointer? Okay, these are host packets. You should get some of those in your kit. You want to bring a few. I bring 3 to every party because I want 3 bookings from every show. Okay, now the ones that come in your kit are not specific to a month. They're just generic. So we need to go on to Consultant's Corner and go to, I think, specials, and then down to marketing imagery to find the host specials, the guest specials, and the order forms for the month. Okay, so if you're booking September parties, you're going to print out the September host special, guest special, and order form. Okay, you're going to bring your calendar. You can use your phone. I use a paper calendar, a big old paper calendar. See, told you I was old. I'm a paper person. Okay, whatever calendar you're going to use, bring that with you. A really, really good thing to use is a weekly calendar. I have month at a glance, but then behind it, I have each week.
That's what I use.
Yeah. Now, the reason why that is important, because let's say you're booking September, okay? And so right now it's the 5th. And you're at a party and someone says, oh, I'd like to book. And you open it up and say, well, I've got the 10th open. And they're like, oh, I don't want to do one in the next 5 days. Well, chances are nobody wants. Then you flip it and you go, okay, I've got either the 14th or the 15th open. Oh, I don't know. That week doesn't work for me. Okay. How about the 18th or the 19th? I've turned 3 pages now. Now they're going, oh, I'll take the 18th. Now it's the 5th. The 18th is 13 days away. Didn't it feel like a lot of time had passed? And I'm giving you all these dates. People are going to book earlier. If you just open up your entire September calendar and you've got dates circled that you're available, what dates do you think people will choose?
The
Usually,
later date?
yeah, they're going to go right to the bottom of your calendar.
Mm-hmm.
People are either planners or they're procrastinators. So they want to have time to plan or they want to have time to procrastinate. Either way, they're going to the bottom. Or they'll say, oh, that's kind of soon. Can we look in October? And then you flip the calendar. Now they're going to the end of October. If you go week by week, research has shown they will book much, much sooner in. Okay? So you're going to bring your calendar. Whatever calendar you like to use is fine by me. Down here is the Life Tastes Great brochure. That's the recruiting information for people who want information about the business. This is just a little picture of a purse. You want to bring something to bring your money in. Have some change for people. I don't carry a ton of cash, but I do have some change, loose change, and I've got usually maybe $10, a 5 and some 1s, so that people pay by cash. Change. And when you're new, I wouldn't suggest using the website directly for your order processing. Just use a calculator. Add up their orders on paper, go home and type it in at your leisure. Once you can do that in your sleep and you're really used to the website, which for most people is 3 to 4 parties, go ahead if you want to bring your laptop right to the show. I do that. I type it right in there because to me that's as easy as type it as using a calculator. But the least important thing that we are doing at the checkout is processing their order. The most important thing we're doing is connecting with that customer, finding out what they might want more information about, like posting or the business, and really getting the follow-up buckle down for that. Okay, that's far more important. So you don't want to be bogged down like, oh, how do I type this in? Okay, and you want to have your checkout station set up before the party begins. Because once people are done with the cooking and they start eating, there's going to be usually one person in the crowd that says, I need to scoot. I've got my order ready. And you don't want to be then going, oh, where should I do my orders? Because that's when they're just going to drop their order and leave. Okay, you want to be ready to do that. And what I do is I take everything that I need for my full service checkout and I put it in one bag. It's my paperwork bag. My laptop's in there, my catalogs and order forms are in there and survey slips, and everything you see here for the checkout is in that one bag. So it's very quick and easy for me to set up. If you are bringing a laptop, find the teenager in the house and have them sign you on ahead of time so you have the password. Okay. Any questions about this so far? Okay.
No, we're good.
All right. And actually, before we get to the strong opening, when guests arrive, okay, well, actually, when you first walk into that house, you're on. Okay, you're at work. Even though the guests aren't there, you are at work. So leave your troubles behind. Your hosts don't need to hear if you had a stressful day. Leave it in the car. In fact, throw it in the garden and don't bring it home with you, because who needs all that stress, right? Put a smile on your face. And you want to dress, we say business casual. This is not a formal business. However, you are a business owner. You are the CEO of your company, okay? So dress like you believe it. You don't have to be wearing heels and nylons or anything like that, but you need to look professional. You want people to invite you into their home, so you need to look like someone that they wouldn't mind inviting over. In the wintertime, I do wear dark denim jeans. I call them my dress jeans. I don't wear jeans with holes and rips and things like that. I don't wear sneakers to shows, but I do wear flat, comfortable, supportive shoes because I'm that old. But, you want to dress professionally. If you have long hair, pull it back. You're going to be cooking, okay? So just like if you worked in a restaurant, you don't want it hanging down in front of you. Greet the host, smile, okay? And when you're getting set up, when guests start walking in, that's when the real show begins. And you don't want to just be ignoring the guests and setting up all your products until it's time to get started. The culture of my show is everybody's involved, okay? Do you want to have a show where everybody's cooking together, having fun together?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like, and that's what I find my customers like. So as soon as they start walking through the door, I'm engaging them and giving them things to do. So let's say Terry is the first person who walks into my show. How many of you consider yourself to be shy? I used to be very shy.
I'm not.
Well, that's good. That will serve you well. So,
Yeah, I've been in the restaurant business for 28 years, so I'm definitely not shy.
that will serve you well here. So I used to be shy. So here's my way of just pretending I'm not shy. I would smile. I would say, I would greet you. I'd say, hi there. My name is Karen, and you are?
I'm Terry.
Terry. And I would put my hand out. I would shake your hand and make eye contact with you. Say, Terry. Repeat your name back to you. Terry, it's great to meet you. And then I ask, how do you know the host? So you ask a couple of questions just to make a connection. Nothing too personal. So Terry, how do you know our host tonight? I know you don't know Sarah, but pretend Sarah's the host. How do you know Sarah?
We met at a beach party a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay, great. Awesome. What beach were you guys at?
Oh, good Lord. Well, let's see. I live in Vermont, so there aren't that many beaches. Silver Lake.
Silver Lake. Oh, awesome. Okay. So I ask them how they know the host. Usually they say we work together, we grew up together, our kids, we're connected through our kids. Those are the three main things we hear. And I ask one very simple follow-up question. If they say we grew up together, oh, wow, where'd you grow up? And if they say we know our kids know each other, oh, how many kids do you have? What ages are they? If they say we work together, oh, that's interesting. What is it you do? So I ask just very benign questions, but I get to know them a little bit. And then I say, Terry, after that, I say, so Terry, if you're the first one here, you get 20 points. Woohoo, aren't you excited?
Sweet.
Yeah, you don't even know what they are, but it sounds good, doesn't it?
It sure does.
It does. So now you want to use name tags at all your shows. Okay, and even if you say to yourself, but I'm good at names, let me tell you, there are going to be people who walk through that door who are not good at names. And they're not going to be able to be as connected with each other if they can't call each other by name. So even if you're good at names, use name tags. Okay, so the cheapest, easiest way I know to do name tags is I buy mailing labels, 32 okay, and I bring them to every party. So at this point, I would say, Terry, how do you spell your name? And I would hand her a name tag, and she'd put it on. I'd say, Terry, would you like 20 more points?
Absolutely.
Okay, you are going to be our greeter name tag lady tonight. Okay, so when people come in, I want you to greet them with a big old smile, find out what their name is, and give them a name tag. How does that sound?
Perfect. Done.
Awesome. Okay, so now Terry's in charge of name tags. So the next person walks in, and it's Jean. And I make sure that Terry is the first person who talks to Jean. If Terry doesn't notice that Jean's walked in, I'll say, hey, Terry, get working, girlfriend. I just gave you 20 points for name tags, right?
I'm Jean, and I really am.
Yes. So now Terry says, hi there. I'm Terry.
Hi there.
Yes.
Hi.
I'm Jean. Right. So now Terry gives Jean a name tag. And I say, hey, Jean, I'm Karen. I'm the Pampered Chef lady. You're early. You get 10 minutes for being early tonight. Woohoo, right?
Minutes? 10 points?
Now, yeah, 10 points for being early. But I got to tell you, Terry's way ahead of you. She's getting extra points for doing name tags. Would you like a little job too so you can catch up?
Absolutely.
Okay, Jean, you are going to be the catalog queen, okay? Here's a stack of catalogs. Inside my catalogs, by the way, is a survey slip and a wish list page, whatever, the order form. And they're tucked in the front. So I'm going to hand that to Jean. I'm going to say, Jean, you're going to make sure everybody gets a catalog and a pen.
Nice.
Okay, that's your job. So now Eva walks in. So Terry greets her, hands her a name tag. Jean walks up, says, welcome, Eva, because she can read the name tag. Here's a catalog for you. Who does Eva think the consultant is?
Me?
She's a little confused.
She doesn't
now.
know.
She has no idea. Somebody just handed her a name tag. Somebody just handed her a catalog, and neither one was the host. So she's like, huh. And then I walk up, introduce myself to Eva. Eva, how you doing? I'm the Pampered Chef consultant. Oh, okay. And of course, everybody else is gathering in. If there's wine being served, the third person's job is to open the wine. I'll show Eva how to use the wine bottle opener. I tell her she has the most important job tonight. Make sure anybody who wants wine gets it. Okay, so I just give them jobs to do. So do you think that by the time it's time to gather around, get cooking, I got people saying, oh, I just want to sit down and I don't want to touch anything? No way. People have been interacting from the beginning, okay? The other thing I do is I tell people, by the way, we're going to be cooking together. So while you're sipping on your wine and we're waiting for the rest of the people to come, give your hands a wash, okay? So now they can be washing their hands. So that's a clue. We're going to be cooking together tonight. So if they haven't been to this kind of Pampered Chef party before, they have been forewarned. We're cooking together, give your hands a wash. I also have a thing of Purell that I put at the table so that, as people come later, they can just, give their hands a quick rinse. Okay? So we're connecting right away. I know what I want the culture of my party to be like. I want it to be fun and interactive. So I am creating that culture very, very consciously, before the official party begins. Okay? And how easy does my job look right about now to people walking in? I'm the master delegate. Yeah, I'm the master delegate, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so any questions about that?
How do you keep track of points?
They do. I don't.
Oh.
So that's a good question. I tell them at the opening of my show, I'll tell you, I have them flip over their wish list. I have them draw a line down the middle. On one side, they write my points, and on the other side, they write my wish list. And at least 2 or 3 times throughout the night, I'll stop and say, give yourself 1 point for every item on your wish list right now. Oh, now they start writing more items down because they later on. Okay, so, all right. So now the opening. Okay, so at this point, people are coming in, and Terry's greeting them, and Jean's giving them a catalog, and Eva's asking if they want wine or anything else to drink. The host is there, they're chatting, and at some point, it's time to say, okay, let's gather around. And at that point, if the host has a nice, booming, loud voice, I say to them, hey, would you mind telling everybody it's time to get started? I have the host do that because people respect the host. It's their house. Okay, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. Come gather around. Okay, and then I take it from there. So, is anybody a gymnast at all here? I did gymnastics as a kid. But
I did it as a kid.
Yeah, you watch the Olympics, right?
My daughter's a gymnast.
Okay, then you know this. There are
yeah.
a couple of things that are really important. You got to start off strong. You got to run. And then there's a lot of blue stuff happening, and then what do you need to do?
Stick
the landing.
Okay, that's how I look at my party. I want to start off strong. Now, most people who even gymnasts have a hard time thing whether a routine is good or not, because were those knees exactly together? I don't know, but man, they were flipping upside down. It looked pretty spectacular to me. So we don't have to be, it could be a whole lot of chaos and laughing and whatever in between. You want to have a strong start and you want to stick the landing. And everything else, it really doesn't much matter as long as people are laughing and having fun. You want to script your opening. I don't script a lot of my party, but my opening, I scripted and I practiced out loud in front of a mirror before I ever went to a party. If you don't script it, it will probably not have a lot of impact. It won't be very engaging, and it will probably go way too long. Okay? And this is not about you. This is just a quick intro. It's just to connect with people. Again, we don't invite strangers into our home. This is a way for you to say, here's who I am, so that they know you as a person and not just a Pampered Chef person. Okay? It sets the tone for your show. It builds your brand, right? We talk, Pampered Chef is known. It's brand. It's high quality. It's products that make our lives easier. But each one of us has our own brand. I'm the crazy Pampered Chef lady. My last name's Batty. I got to live up to it, right? So whatever you want your brand to be. I never cooked before. I never went to culinary school. So for me to be that kind of Pampered Chef just didn't feel like a fit. You don't have to be who I am. We each need to be true to who we are, okay? All right, our strong opening, it builds rapport. So we have that customer loyalty that Terry was talking about, because we don't want just people to buy from us once. It increases our odds of getting bookings and recruitment because it makes us approachable. Your strong opening should be 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes tops. And if you're wondering, I don't know how to do it, a basic thing that you can go by these 4 questions. And it is one of your handouts, okay? So you can script it out. What did you do before Pampered Chef? What attracted you to Pampered Chef? What hesitations did you have? What did you find out, or what do you enjoy? Okay, so here's mine in a nutshell. Okay, everybody, I want to thank you all for coming tonight. Before we get started cooking, I want to take a minute just to introduce myself and tell you how I came to be in front of you wearing this apron. It's kind of an interesting story. Before I became a Pampered Chef consultant, I was a nurse. I loved my job. I adored it, in fact. But my youngest child was a preemie, though he's the picture of health today. But when he was about 8.5 weeks old, the pediatrician told me he couldn't go into daycare. So I had about 3.5 weeks to find a job. I looked everywhere, and this was before the internet. I looked in the newspaper for something I could do to work around 3 preschool-age kids and my husband's crazy firefighter schedule. As you can imagine, Pickens was fun. We've got a dog barking. A friend went to a Pampered Chef party and told the consultant that I might be looking for something, and she called me. It happened to be the and I thought, who's got a dog barking? You could mute.
I don't know how to do them. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's me.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay. And when this person called me, I felt like I had a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other. On the one hand, I loved the fact that this was flexible and it was fun, and the kit was 75% off retail, and I could keep the products even if I could after a couple of parties. And I figured no one's lives was going to be in my hands like when I was a nurse, so what could possibly go very wrong? But on the other hand, I couldn't cook. I wasn't a salesperson. I was petrified at the thought of talking in front of people, and hello, I was a nurse. But I'm one of 6 kids, so I figured I could get 5 pity parties. You know, people who were going to have a party with me just out of pity. Those were going to be my siblings. I figured that would keep my lights on for a month while I had time to find a real job. And I thought if anybody booked, great, I'd keep going. And if they didn't, I would just stop. My dream was if I could do this for 3 months, extend my maternity leave 3 months, I would consider this a huge success. Well, much to my amazement and the amazement of almost everybody who knows me, I am still here. And my baby is now 21 years old and a college graduate. That's just my way of telling you, if you came to be wowed and amazed by culinary expertise tonight, you might want to change your goal for the evening. After all, I am a nurse by trade. However, I learned a long time ago that if you are a Pampered Chef consultant, you can't cook, you'd better be funny. So hopefully, if nothing else, you're all going to have a good time tonight cooking and eating together. Are you ready to get started? Okay. So tell me, what do you think? I don't think any of you guys have really met me before. So now what do you think?
Quick, easy.
Yep. Would you be more likely to book with me now than you would 5 minutes ago?
Absolutely.
Are you thinking this is going to be fun? Oh my gosh. If you have kids, you might relate to that.
Relatable.
Yeah. But now, even though this wasn't really a recruiting pitch, there was some seeds in there. What recruiting seeds did you hear?
That you could do it even though you couldn't cook.
Yes, you don't need to be a good cook. What else?
You can keep the kit even if you decide not to be. That was my sister's favorite. My sister is a consultant as well. She is one of my team members. And I have a culinary degree. She doesn't. She can't cook to save her life, but she is outselling me since she started. And so, like, for her and I, it's a competition because it's the whole.
Very good.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it's affordable.
And affordable. The kit's 75% off retail. I could keep my products if I decided after a couple shows I didn't want to continue. Nobody's life is it's fun. It's flexible. I couldn't cook. I wasn't a salesperson. Petrified. Guys, I pulled the car over on the side of the road on the way to my first party. I kid you not. I bawled my eyes out. I had an absolute nervous breakdown at the thought of talking in front of 8 people. 4 of whom
wow.
Yeah. I was a surgical trauma nurse, okay? So if you fell down and collapsed in front of me, I'd be grabbing the crash cart and I'd be going to town. But the thought of talking in front of people, that flipped me out. So
wow.
Now, the other thing is, this could be a very sad story. If you really knew the details about my son and all that was going on with him, I was bawling my eyes out going, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my home. I'm the breadwinner. My husband makes like $15 an hour at the time. I was driving down to Boston working, and now what am I going to do? Notice that's not part of this story. It's a sentence, and I'm moving on. You want the story to be enjoyable, honest, plant some seeds for sure, and set the stage for what you want your Pampered Chef parties to be like. I'm talking about before we cook together, things like that. So I'm planting those seeds. Script it out, send it to your director. Okay, because we can help you script this, make modifications if needed. Then really do practice it out loud. One thing I didn't include here just because it didn't fit on the screen is the first thing I do is thank the host. Thank you so much for inviting me over here tonight, Sarah. If it weren't for people like you, I'd have to get a real job. So, and thank all of you for coming here tonight. I say this, I know there's a lot of places you could be besides here, one of which could be curled up in the corner of your couch, and you're not. You're here, and I thank you guys for coming. Okay, and then I tell my story. Okay, so do thank the host and thank the guests. All right. So next. Oh, script your story. Read it out loud in front of a mirror with a smile, okay? Okay, now you all got a show outline in your handout, okay? So it is here and here, okay? So I've got the 2 sides here. I don't expect that you're gonna read this right off of here, but it's probably easy to read the one that I gave you. Put this in a page protector and bring it to your parties. I've been doing this for 20 years, almost 21. I still bring this outline, it's got scribbles all over it, and it's been adapted over the years, but I still bring it to every single party in a page protector. Okay.
How do we get this outline?
What's that?
How do we get this outline?
It should have been emailed to you. Who's your director?
Lisa Lloyd?
Okay, just email Lisa. She's got all the handouts. It should be in an email with 3 or 4 other handouts for the training. So print it out, stick it in a page protector. Like I said, don't change it for 8 to 10 shows. After that, if you want to adjust it, go ahead. But for now, leave it as is. There's meaning for everything. So at the top, again, thank the host, tell your story. If you want, put your story in a page protector. But that part, I think it's okay to memorize. It's not too much. After all, it's your own story. Okay, so what I say at the beginning of my shows after that is, well, it's typed out right here, So the way this works is we're going to cook a recipe together. One of the best things about Pampered Chef is you get to try before you buy. You'll be able to get your hands on the products, and then you're going to get to eat what we made. Sound good? Okay, but before we get cooking, who would like to win a prize? Anybody like anything for free?
Yay.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys are going to be earning points tonight. Okay, so and that's when I have them flip over their order form or the survey slip, draw the line down the middle, wish list on one side. By the way, the more items on your wish list, the more points you might get a little bit later in the evening. And on the other side, my points. If I gave you points before the party because you were earlier, you had a job, go ahead and just jot them down now. So look at what people are getting points for. They get 5 points for hollering out the correct page number. And I say to them, now you're going to get 5 points for that. Why? Well, because someone's going to say, how much does that cost? And I'm going to say, I don't know, but it's on that page. And then someone's going to say, what's the warranty on that? And I'm going to say, well, to the right of the price is a circle with a number in it. That number corresponds to the number of years an item is warranted. Someone might say, what's the dimensions of that pot? And I'm going to look at you and I'm going to go, well, clearly it's this wide and this high. But if you want to know how many cups it holds, it will be on that page. And they laugh. But think about it. I don't have to put any of that to memory if I just say, you get 5 points for hollering out the page number.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them it is not cheating to use the inside front cover of your book. Now with the new catalog, do you guys know the last few pages are an index?
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell them it's not cheating to use the index. It'll give them the number that the description of the product's actually on. Because sometimes some products are on different pages and they'll holler out a page, but it's like, oh no, that's just for looks in that picture. That's not the description. So have them use that index in the back. So I tell them it's not cheating to use the index that's in the back of the book. And then I tell them it's also not cheating to be looking up page numbers right now. You know, if you're wondering what I might be using, I'd suggest, you know, look around the island. So I put them on and I get them start looking things up and writing it down. So when I start talking about a product, they're hollering out the page number right away. I offer cool use points. Share a cool use for a product, I'll award you cool use points. I tell them it varies depending on how cool I think it is. So now people who own products or whatever, they're going to be sharing what they do with them because they're getting points for it. Every time they make me laugh, they get 5 points. This is supposed to be a party, right? They want to have fun. How many of you think, oh, but I'm not very funny? Anybody think, I don't know, I'm not very funny? You don't have to be.
I like that, Sarah. So am I.
Just like we don't have to be the source of all the information about the products because it's in the catalog, we don't have to be the source of all the jokes and the fun. Believe me, if you've got 8 or 10 people gathered around an island and you say, hey, you get 5 points for making me laugh, I tell them, show of hands, how many of you are thinking, great, I'm not finding page numbers, I'm just going to be funny. It will be usually at least 1 hand, sometimes 2. And I go, good. You guys don't have to worry about page numbers. You just have to worry about being funny. And if it's boring tonight, it's all on you guys. Okay, so I'm finding out who my funny people are. I'm also keeping that in mind because they're usually the outgoing ones who, you know, might do well with this business. And then I tell them 5 points for every product they try out. Yes, they're going to use the one that's near them, but now they can circulate around the table if they're like, oh, I want to try that thing out that they're not standing there. I'm giving them 5 points for every product they try out. And then I say, okay, I need 4 people, 4 very excited people who want 20 points each. And sometimes you get 2 people that go, oh, and I go, okay, I'll take 2 very excited and 2 really not excited at all people who want 20 points each. And they start laughing. And I give out the jobs. One person's going to be the recipe reader. Okay, I hand them that first. And I say, start reading through the recipe now. Because every once in a while, I'm just going to look at you and say, what do we do next? Okay. Then the guest special sheet is in a page protector. And I hand that to one person. Their job is to say, hey, don't forget when you spend $75 or more, pick out one of these items for free on your order. The host bonus announcer is going to say, hey, don't forget when you have a party in the month of September, you get any one of these sets at 60% off. And the consultant sign-on person, I'll hand them that and I'll say, you know, you might, pretty soon on, you're going to be thinking to yourself, wow, all this lady does is delegate everything that takes any brain power. This is easy. And so I tell that person, whenever I do anything that would get me either written up or fired at a real job, I want you to say, yes, you too could be a Pampered Chef consultant. And if you sign up, get a knife block, get a knife and scissors. Okay. So again, this is everybody's in. everybody, we've got someone doing name tags, someone handing out catalogs. Now someone's hollering about the rest, the guest special, the host bonus, all that, and everybody's cooking. Okay. Now, this is the thing that I think you're going to love when you're new. The 3-question show. This is a way you can get through an entire party without knowing anything about the products. Okay? Just these 3 questions. You just ask them over and over. So everybody's gathered around, and by the way, write it on your yellow sheet. Public washing of the hands. You've washed your hands when you got in there, but nobody saw you do that. So make sure you have Purell or a sink if you're right there, and just say, okay, everybody, I'm going to give my hands a quick wash.
Deborah, get down.
Recipe reader, what are we making? Tell everybody what we're making while I'm giving my hands a quick wash. So everybody sees that you've washed your hands. Now the recipe reader says, we're making rush hour fajitas. And great, what's the first step? So they say something about spraying the rock with oil. Okay, fantastic. Hey, now, since the recipe reader said the step of the recipe, then you say, so who can find the rock in the book? And holler out the page number. Someone hollers out the page number. And now you say, who owns the rock and wants to rave about it? I'll give you points. Because now someone who owns it starts going, oh my gosh.
No. This is why you don't get up there.
Everybody okay?
Sounded like a puppy, I think. Okay, so you get people talking about it. Who owns it? What would you do with this if you owned it? And they share ideas, and you go, "What? That's a great idea. 5 points for that. Oh, could you do this with it? Oh, sure, I think so. That's worth 5 points." So now they're sharing all of these ideas. Next, let's say the next step is to crush some garlic. So you say, okay, recipe reader, what do we do next? They read off the garlic. Someone says, oh, that's on page 38. Okay, who owns the garlic press and wants to rave about it? I'll give you points. Oh my gosh, you don't even have to peel your garlic. Oh, I use it for ginger as well. Oh my gosh, I've had mine for 5 years. It goes through the dishwasher. It works great. 5 points, 5 points, 5 points. So do you see how you can get through an entire show without even sharing anything that you know about the products?
Mm-hmm.
So if you get tongue-tied up there, don't worry. And even if you do know about the products, let it come from your guests as much as possible. Why do you think I say that? There's 2 important reasons.
Because the people at the party are going to believe the other people at the party before they believe the consultant.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right, Sarah. Okay, they know we're making commission. So we might just say we love everything. But next to them is the person that they've been working with for 10 years who says, oh my gosh, that is the best garlic press on the planet. I've owned 5 different garlic presses. None of them worked. I got this one. I've had it for 15 years. It's the best. Of course, they're going to believe that other person who has no skin in the game. All she's getting is 5 points for raving. People aren't going to rave just for points. They're going to rave because that's going to carry way more credibility. Why else is it important for it to come from our guests?
Increases interaction.
Yep, it increases the interaction. It's going to get more people to be hollering things out. And if you're looking to build a team, people aren't thinking, wow, you got to know a lot of stuff here to be a Pampered Chef consultant. They're thinking, this looks easy, right? Now, that being said, if you've got your first party coming up in a couple of days, just go with this 3-question show. If you've got a week or more before your next party, brush up on one power tool, okay? You want to know one power tool really, really well. So think about what you're making and what that power tool is. Like the rock crock, like the double burner grill pan. By the way, do you guys all know how to spell my name? Karynbattey. Go to my YouTube channel and put in rock crock. You will see my rock crock power tool talk there. Okay, I'll give you a quick rendition of it. Okay, how many of you are familiar with the rock crock? And most people do not raise their hands. But so what I'll say is, if a couple people raise their hands, I'll say, isn't this the most amazing thing ever?
Mm-hmm.
In a couple of minutes, I'm going to ask you guys to share what your favorite thing is to cook in here. But first, I want to tell the rest of the people who aren't familiar about it. Okay, so now you guys are going to be thinking, what do I make in this thing? And I say, this is the Rock Crock from Pampered Chef. I call it the iPhone 8 of the Pampered Chef world. And I do that because you might look at it and say, I got something that looks like this at home. But let me tell you, if you don't have this, you might as well own a flip phone, okay? This is a piece from Pampered Chef that has a super ceramic finish. It is exclusive to the Pampered Chef. You will find it no place else. It is simply the most versatile piece of cookware on the market today, and you can only get it here. This super ceramic finish is safe up to 752 degrees. That means this little baby is microwave safe, stovetop safe, oven safe, broiler safe, lid not broiler safe, however, refrigerator, freezer, dishwasher safe, and grill safe. This will go everywhere. The first time I used this, I made French onion soup because the recipe came with it. I started off in the stovetop. I cranked it up to high, caramelized the onion, made the soup. Then I put it underneath the broiler to melt the cheese until it was perfectly golden brown. Now, if you don't have a Rock Crock, what pan do you use that can go from the stovetop to under the broiler?
There isn't one.
Yeah, well, maybe like an ugly stainless saucepan, right? But if you have a company who wants to serve out of an ugly stainless saucepan, Rock Crock. I also call it the little black dress of the kitchen. You can put it on with flip-flops and take it outside filled with beans and dogs, or you can put it on with a heel and like pearl earrings and take it out and put it in the middle of your table at Thanksgiving. It's basic black, so it doesn't compete with any other serving pieces. So you can take this out, serve the soup right out of it. Then there's leftovers. I put the lid on, I stuck it in the fridge. The next day, I popped it in the microwave to reheat it. So I cooked in, served out of, stored in, reheated in all one piece. How many of you love a crock pot? Yeah. Now, our Rock Crock can be a crock pot. So you can put it on the stove. You can sear your meat first on high heat. Add all the fillings, pick it up, plop it in the slow cooker, turn it on, cover it, leave for the day, you come home, dinner's done. And your other crock pot, you can't take and stick in your fridge for the leftovers because it's too big. Our crock pot, you just put it in the refrigerator. Then the leftovers you can pop in the microwave to heat, and then you can throw the whole thing in the dishwasher. And there's of microwavable recipes. I use this pot probably 3 to 4 times a week. Okay, and then I'm gonna ask people to share what they do with it. Okay, so that's a power tool talk, all right? You don't have to, I have it at the ready for any product you want to know about, but you guys don't have to have that. And I don't go into that much detail about other products. As much as possible, I have it coming from the customers. But 1 to 2 power tool talks per party. So think about your favorite recipe. Is the power tool the stoneware, the Rock Crock, the grill pan? Think about what it is. Research it online. It won't take you long at all. There's all that information right online, or you can go to the YouTube channel and type in my with a product next to it and see if I have a little video of it. Feel free. If it's out there on YouTube and I'm talking about it, you are allowed to steal it. Okay? You don't have to ask permission. Take it. Run with it. Make it better. Okay? But a power tool, those are the things that people are going to want to book to get. Okay? Any questions about the free show method, the 3-question show method? Are you loving it?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, you can get through an entire party without knowing anything. Okay? All right, so on the outline, after the recipe goes into the microwave or the oven, that's when you're going to stop talking about product. Because when we are at a Pampered Chef party, we are setting up a Pampered Chef buffet of food. On that buffet is products. On that buffet is the opportunity to host a party. And on that buffet is the business opportunity. And you want to be able to put all of those things out on the buffet. If you don't put it out on the buffet, people can't partake. So you got to make sure you're setting up that buffet. It is not our job to force feed people off the buffet, but it is our job to set it up. So when that recipe goes in the oven or the microwave, that's my cue. I'm done talking about products, and we are on to what's called the booking slide. You see that on the outline. Okay. You can definitely go to my YouTube channel. There will be a sample of the booking slide. This is a picture of it. It can be purchased off of a paperwork supply order. Wait till you've hit $12.50 in sales so you get Pampered Chef dollars so you can order that for free. In the meantime, you can go to your director's Facebook group and go under go under files and type in booking slide, put a bunch of paper in your printer and print it out, and it should come out like this. You can then put them in page protectors, tape them with packing tape in the back. That's what we all used before the home office said, hey, we'll make you one that looks a little more professional than that. But that's what you can use. This is, if you can see it, every slide has one benefit of hosting, okay? It talks about the free stuff, half price items, all that. So it has one benefit per slide. So the guests think that this is for them, but really it's for us so that we don't have to memorize it, okay? But there's one very important thing you need to know how to do, and that's how to unfurl this, okay? So I do it like this, and I hold it, I pinch it like this. You're going to have to come back and watch this because it's really cool. So when you're standing up there going, hey, are you guys having a good time tonight? Anybody blowing their budget? Who likes to have fun with their friends and food and loves free stuff? Oh, then you might want to think about having a party. And it all spills out in front of them. Okay? Now, this is a very quick thing. It takes probably 30 seconds to just run through it. You're not going into a bunch of details. You get free stuff. You get half price items. You get an unlimited discount on everything else you buy. When people book, you get a half price item at each of their parties. Okay, so you're just bulleting. Okay, you're reading basically the big line that's on the top. Okay, and the purpose isn't for them to have an in-depth product knowledge or in-depth knowledge of our host rewards program. It's to inspire them to say, wow, look at all the cool stuff that you get when you host. Because first, we've created all kinds of desire for our products while they were cooking, and now, bam, they found out they can get it for free and half price. Okay? We never have to justify the price of anything. Nobody has to pay full price. Okay, then just have a party and get free or half off, right? Okay. Now, the booking slide tells people in general why they might want to have a party. However, it doesn't tell them specifically about a month. So after I do the booking slide, I tuck it under my arm, and you'll see the notes at the bottom here. Talk up the host bonus for the month. Tell them a theme that you're offering in that month. I brag an objection that's common during that month. And then put a cherry on the top by letting them know about the extra points that they're going to get and that the host will get credit.
What do you mean by brag the objection?
I'm going to give you an example of that. So, and this I change up a little bit every month, okay? So the booking slide stays the same, but those last few things that I just listed, the host bonus, the theme, the brag the objection, and the cherry on the top, those change slightly each month. So let's say, oh, sorry, hot flash. Woo!
It's called summer.
I know. So let's say you're booking September. So after I do the booking slide, I say, now this tells you why you might want to have a party any time of the year. But I got to tell you, I got just a couple of dates left in September, and it is a fabulous month to have a party. Because, well, I mean, we've got our brand new catalog out. So even if your family and friends have been to parties before, there is going to be about 40 new things for them to see. Plus, the summer's over and people are cooking again. And they're looking for quick, easy meal ideas. So one of the themes that I'm offering in the month of September is one-pot cooking and dinner in a dash. Okay, so we can help you and your friends get a hot, healthy meal on the table in no time. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, yeah, but it's September and people are just like back to school. I don't know if they're going to be too busy. Well, let me tell you, in the summertime, they were all scattered all over the place, on vacation. Now they're back at home. They're really not going anywhere. And, if you have a party on a Thursday night, where else are they going to be? Home checking the homework and watching bad TV? Or, hey, might as well come over to your house for a Death by Chocolate party, a one-pot meal, right? And when you schedule a party tonight, you can give yourself an extra 100 points. Plus, Sarah, our host, is going to get a half-price item, her choice, at your party because you booked from her tonight.
Yes, a book.
Booked. Okay? When people come to my parties, they're generally choosing dates that night. Okay, so does that make sense? I'm talking up the host bonus. I'm offering a theme that goes along with that time of year. I'm bragging what I imagine is a common objection. You know, oh, it's back to school. Are people too busy? Because let's face it, they're thinking stuff. So, and I give them a solution for it. Oh, that's true. Yeah, everybody is at home. No one's traveling on a Wednesday or Thursday night. Might as well go to a Pampered Chef party. And then I slip in a little death by chocolate in case the one pot meal didn't float their boat. And then the cherry on the top, an extra 100 points. And their host, who's their friend, is going to get a half price item at their party. Pampered Chef pays for that. That's not on me.
When I put that, I'm doing a party right now, and I got a booking off of it. And when I put it in online that they had booked a party, it didn't change like any of the host rewards.
It doesn't change it on that host. Okay, so Sarah, if you're the host tonight and Jean books from you, you get the half price item at Jean's party, not at your party.
Okay, so the person who's hosting now will get half off at the friend.
At each of the parties that's booked from hers. So the parties that are booked, if those books are held, if that booking one show is held 2 weeks later, she gets the half price item at that.
Person will get half off at Susie's party.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Now, this is another thing. Right now, I can do this off the top of my head. You give me a month, I'll brag an objection, put a cherry on the top. If I knew the host special, I could leave that in. But let me tell you, when I was new, I would take some time at the end of each month to script this out a little bit and practice it out loud. Again, like the intro is important. This booking talk is important. Okay, so you don't want to wing it. Wing it through the booking slide because those notes are in front of you. But this part is really important to nail. Okay. And if there is an objection that you're hearing and you want to brag it and you don't know how, good Lord, ask one of the directors. We've been around a while. We've heard everything. We've got solutions for almost anything you can imagine. Okay. All right. This is the back of the outline. So after the booking slide, we do the quiz. Now, remember, we said we want an interactive show. People want to have fun. The quiz is full of information that would be really boring to just like lecture in front of people. But now it's a quiz, and they get 5 points for hollering out the correct answer first. And it reviews, I'm not going to go through it all, but it goes through warranties and keeping the receipt. And then there's a little, like, in there, 2 points for every piece of jewelry you're wearing. It reviews the host rewards. I also say, how much do you have to spend tonight to get something for free? You know, and what's an item you can get for free tonight with a $75 order? It's just reviewing all that information, but in a way where everybody's engaged because they can scoop up a lot of points here. So they're like, okay, we're ready for the questions. Okay, so that's the quiz. And then after the quiz is the lightning round. Remember I said that we are setting up a buffet, a Pampered Chef buffet, right? And on the buffet is products. And on the buffet is the opportunity to host a party. And the third thing that's on that buffet is the business itself. And the lightning round is where people have an opportunity to ask questions about the business. Okay, it has to be business related. You can either set a timer for 3 minutes, or you can say, I'm taking 8 questions, or I just kind of throw it out there and, you know, you can ask me anything you ever wanted for the next couple of minutes, and you give them 50 points for every business-related question. But you don't want to just say, okay, now the quiz is over, you can ask me anything you want about the business, because you'll probably just get a bunch of crickets. Okay, there should be an intro for it on your outline. It says right here, okay, now it's time for the lightning round. When you come to a Pampered Chef party, there's 3 things you get to learn about. Our products, our host rewards program, and the business opportunity. So for the next couple of minutes, I'll take questions about the business. Each business-related question is worth 50 points each. But there's something new that, something I want to ask you guys. Do you guys believe that there are recruit leads at every single party?
Absolutely.
Yes, there are. Because like I said, it's not just the people in front of you, it's the 20 people they all know well. Did I tell you I was a referral?
Mm-mm.
I was a referral. A friend of mine went to a Pampered Chef party. I got invited to 5 or 6 of them. I never went. Hated home parties, didn't like to cook. I worked evenings as a nurse. And if I got invited to one, I would just say, I'm working, even if it wasn't. I want you guys to consider this. I open my Q&A round with these facts. Because here's what I say. I say, you know, so each business-related question is going to be worth. And then I say to them, how many of you came to this Pampered Chef party because you were looking for a job? Go ahead, show of hands. I've been doing this for almost 21 years. Once somebody raised their hand. And nobody raises their hand. And so I just call out the elephant in the room. And I say, I get it. I know people don't come to a Pampered Chef party looking for a job. But here are some statistics you might be interested to learn. 50% of Americans say that they're looking for additional income. So half of you fall into that category, but half of everyone you know also falls into that category. Okay, they also say that 61% of Americans would like to be their own boss. And as a Pampered Chef consultant, you're the CEO of your own company. And I say to them, yeah, I live in New Hampshire. Do you know the average cost of daycare for a child under 2 in this state is $1,000 a month? How many of you know people who have multiple kids? The average student loan debt for a New Hampshire state school student is about $65,000 at the time of graduation. How many of you know people who went to college and then they went to private school, which means their average debt is probably a lot higher?
Mm-hmm.
So I tell everybody, if you are all set, think of people you know, ask questions they might be curious about, and again, you're going to get 50 points for each business-related question. And then I'll say to them, ready, set, go. So what do you think people ask?
How much is it?
How much is what? How much is the kit? How much does it cost to get started?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ask that a lot. They say, so someone says, how much does it cost to get started? I say, that's a fabulous question. Do you guys know where to find that information?
Back in the book.
Exactly. Inside back cover of the catalog. Right. So I tell them, open up the back of your catalog, inside back cover. We have 3 kits there. Okay. They are 75% off retail. Just so you guys know, I'll go into a little more detail than you would ever need to. $109 for the basic kit exceeds what the average American pays for in coffee and fast food in 1 month.
Wow.
And since I don't spend any money on coffee or fast food, somebody's spending way a lot more. But average it out. $159 for the middle kit. It's $650 worth of products. The average American family spends that in the grocery store in a week. Okay, so for someone could give up coffee and fast foods for a month and start a Pampered Chef business. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Mm.
Most franchises, if you want a Dunkin' Donuts franchise, it's $500,000. You want a Pampered Chef franchise, it's $109. Okay, it's a great deal. So they ask you what the kit costs. You can pick up the catalog yourself. Hey, someone hand me their catalog. It's in the inside back cover so that you can hold it up and you don't have to memorize the cost of it. What else do you think people ask?
Do you have to know how to cook?
You have to know how to cook. Thank goodness, no. You just have to someone in charge of being a recipe reader and gather everybody around to cook together. That's a great question. Next question.
Computer technology.
That's a great question. No, you don't have to be computer savvy. You don't even need a computer. You do, however, need to be able to get online somehow, either with an iPad or a phone, but it's not required at the parties, and it is very, very, very user-friendly. That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that.
That's my condition.
Yes, yeah. So people ask, how many parties do you have to do? So I say, I don't have to do any. Pampered Chef, I'm my own CEO. I choose to do about 2 or 3 a week because that's what is a great fit for me. Some people do a couple a month. Some people do 5 a week. It's entirely up to the individual and how much time that you want to put into your business. They ask us, how much do we make at an average party? How much do you make? Do you guys know what the how much the average consultant makes at a party? $125 to $150. Okay, national show average is about $650, and we make anywhere between a 20 and 25% commission. So about $125 to $150 per party. Okay, in the handouts that I sent, that were emailed to you, there are a bunch of questions, and you can print them out on a mailing label, and you can peel and stick these onto your catalogs. You can decide what you want people to ask you. Okay, so the ones you feel comfortable asking, peel them off, stick them on the catalogs, and say, you can ask me any question you want. By the way, there's questions on your catalog. If you're stumped, just read what's off there. You'll get 50 points. They're going to ask you those questions. It is okay if you don't know all the answers. There are still times when people ask me a question, how many catalogs, how many products are in the catalog? And I go, I don't know, all of them. But you can tell them, by the way, I'm new. If you stump me and ask me a question I don't know about the business, I'll double your points. They usually don't care. They're cheering now because now they got 100 points, right? They're like, woohoo, she doesn't know this one. But you can say, you know, I can look it up and get back to you about that. Or offer someone points for Googling and finding the answer. Hey, who's got their phone? Google that. See if you can find the answer. And if you find it, you get 50 points too. And then move on. Okay? The point is not to tell them everything they could ever want to know about the business. The point is to pique their curiosity enough so that they want to learn more. Okay? So don't skip out on this. My first recruit, my first team member came from my very first party. I set off a smoke alarm. I dropped the pizza on the floor. This was back 21 years ago when we didn't cook together. We stood in the front of the room and cooked, demonstrated. And it was a disaster of a show, but my first team member came from that party. So you never know who needs what we have to offer. So put it out there at every single party because you never know whose life you can change. Okay? You don't have to know all the answers. It's not about you. It's about what they might need. Okay? So are any of you thinking, yeah, but I don't know if there's going to be people at every single party who's interested? Well, consider this. There's going to be some people there who don't need knives. And yet, we're going to talk about knives for a couple of minutes. There's going to be people there who decide they don't want a rock crock, but you're going to talk about a rock crock for a few minutes. So there might be people who aren't interested in the business, but they're not going to be all up in arms because you talked about the business for a couple of minutes either. So now I'm going to spring something on you guys. How many of you, show of hands, how many of you came here tonight because you want to be a director with the Pampered Chef? One, Sarah. Oh my gosh, nobody ever raises their hand to this. Most people are like, wait, I thought I was coming to new consultant training. What's a director, right?
No, honey. I need to make about $2,000 a month to support my house, and if I have to be a director to do that,
yeah,
then I need to be a director.
Yes, okay, there you go. Then yes, being a director with the Pampered Chef is definitely where you need to go or where you want to go. So I know that most people don't come to a cooking show training as a new consultant to learn about how to be a director. But guess what? For the next 3 minutes, you can ask me anything you've ever wondered about the business. And by the way, guys, I am going to be mailing out a prize to someone. So for the next 3 minutes, you can ask me anything you've ever wondered about the business. I hate there to be crickets, so nod when you have a question ready, because when I say ready, set, go, I want rapid fire questions. You guys got some questions ready? Your question could be, what's a director? Why would I want to be one of those? Okay? So when I say ready, set, go, just start asking questions. So, and keep track of how many questions. Give yourself a hash mark for each question you ask. Ready, set, go.
How do you get garlic smell out of the brush, the basting brush?
Oh, you have to, I'm sorry, I wasn't, you have to ask a question about directorship for this round. But how do I get what out of the basting brush?
I used it to baste butter and garlic on
Yeah.
the Philly cheesesteak rolls, and we soaked it in vinegar. We soaked it in Coca-Cola overnight.
Oh, usually soap will take the fats off of it or throw it through the dishwasher. I haven't had a problem with it. No,
Mhm.
We tried everything.
I mean, it's heat safe. It's silicone, but okay. So now 3 minutes about directorship.
How do you become a director?
Did you ask how do you become a director? You become a director when you have
Mhm.
5 team members, at least 5 team members. Okay. When you sponsor your first team member, oh, it says my internet is unstable. Oh, there we go. When you sponsor your first team member, you become a senior consultant and you get your first raise. You earn 1% more on your personal sales plus the sales of your team. Now it's only one person, so it's not a huge amount. But for most people, it's an extra $30, $40 a month. When you sponsor your second team member, you're then a team leader. You make 2% overrides on your personal sales and the sales of your team. And for most people, that's $80 to $100. When you're up to 5 people, then you can be a director. And it's a 3% override plus what's called an activity bonus. And for most people, when you're a brand new consultant, when you're a brand new director, it's about $300 extra a month, but it can be up to thousands and thousands of dollars a month.
How
And
many
when you're
parties? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and when you're a director, you get the new products when they come out, right?
There's a ton of benefits, but yes, one of the great benefits is when they come out with new products, we get a set for free.
Ooh.
So what do you have to do as the director?
As a director, yeah. Well, I am an upper level director.
Mhm.
Once you guys are in the Batty organization, so Sarah, who's your director?
Lisa,
Lisa. Terry, who's your director?
Lori.
Lori. Jean, who's your director?
Lori and Lisa, I guess.
Well, we have a couple different Lisas. So, yeah.
Lloyd.
And then I'm trying to unmute. Eva. Eva, who's your director?
Lori.
Lori. Okay. So, yeah, you guys are here for new consultant training, right? Because I
Yes.
offer it for the organization. So as your team is building, you just plug them into the business basics, the new consultant training. You're probably going to have meetings with your director. You can continue just to invite your people to those sales meetings. So basically, when you're a director, you're answering people's questions more one-on-one. But the training in our organization is, you guys are kind of lucky, it's already here. You just plug people into it.
Is there a minimum requirement of shows that you have to do a month as a director?
You need to sell at least 750 in sales, which is about a show and a quarter. However, most directors do more than that.
In a quarter? Or a
No,
month?
750 in sales is about a show and a half or a show and a quarter. You need to sell 750 each month, at least 750 each month to be a director. It's not a lot, but most directors sell way, way more than that. You don't want to work toward minimums,
Right.
because you do need 5,000 in team sales.
There's different levels of directors though, right?
Yes, there is. There's director, there's advanced director, senior director, executive director, senior exec, and national.
And how do you get to those levels?
Once you're a director, you get to director by building a team with consultants. In order to move up in levels after that, you need to help people on your team become directors.
Directors, okay.
And now I started this business 21 years ago. It was not my goal to not go back to nursing. I assumed I would go back to nursing in 3 months to a year. It's been 21 years now. I keep doing this because it is incredibly fun. It is profitable. It is easy. It's no stress. I mean, I won't say it's easy all the time. Sometimes I have to work to get the shows. But I mean, compared to nursing, it's easy. You know, my last commission check was almost $8,000, and that's in the summertime. And I did about I do about 2 to 3 parties a week. If I have a training, if I have a training, I do 2 parties. If I don't have a training, I do 3 parties. So I'm basically working, you know, a few hours 3 times a week to make that, and more in the fall. So this is available to everybody. Okay, so you're a consultant, but you know we start with the same basic kit. And you don't have to wait for anybody to die or retire like you do in the corporate world in order to get to have advancement. If you say, no, this is what I want, we will train you on how to do that. And you guys,
Right.
there's what's called fast track. Okay, if you are brand new in your business, if you're in your first 90 days, you can earn a fast track bonus, which is up to $2,000 for building a team. If you're doing about 2 shows a week, whether they're live or virtual, or 8 parties a month, live or virtual, you are probably going to be in front of enough people to make this happen in 90 days. If you're outside of fast track, but you're thinking directorship, well, heck, you still get all the benefits. They didn't have fast track when I was a kid, and I still love directorship. So yeah. What's that?
As far as the trips, I noticed that people were winning trips at that convention. Is that only for the directors, the trips?
Trips are for everyone. We don't win them, we earn them. For every dollar in commissionable sales that you submit, it's 1 point. For every qualified team member, that means everybody you signed who sells $12.50 in their career, 3,000 trip points. Directors, by the way, have decreased trip point requirements. So it's like 1,000 fewer points for us to earn trips. So that's another benefit of being a director. If you do about 2 parties a week, you will see the world with Pampered Chef. I did earn a trip my first year in business, and let me tell you, if you saw what went on in my parties, you would say, are you serious? They didn't fire you and they actually sent you on a trip? I forgot products, I burned things, I dropped things on the floor. I was very, very, very imperfect, but I packed my bags 2 days a week and did 2 parties a week because they told me that was the magic number. So I did. And now we can do it virtually as well.
How many times do you take no before you?
I take no from people. If it's a no, it's a no. I'm just asking lots of people.
Well, I mean, if they're wishy-washy, I don't know. How many times are you going to bring it up to them?
Give me an example.
Like, I have a friend that I think this worked for her, that she's like, I don't know, and she has a new excuse every time we bring it up. And
I would say to her, what are your concerns? And I would find out what her concerns are, and I would address those concerns. And then I would say, what do you have to lose by trying? And I would just be quiet. And she'd probably say, well, I guess nothing. And I'd say, right. And do you know what you have to gain by trying right now? You're going to fill your kitchen with Pampered Chef products right before the holidays. You are going to get in on the fall selling season when people are buying for Thanksgiving and Christmas and all the baking they do and all the gifts they give. And the worst case scenario is you decide it's not your thing. You haven't failed. You've just successfully discovered it's not for you. But if you don't try, you don't get any of the products. You don't get any of the sales. And you know what? And then you got me asking you every month, how about now? How about now? How about now? Might as well just try it, right? That's my style. Sarah, talk with your director and do a 3-way call just to kind of find out what her hesitations are. A lot of people are nervous, but really thinking about it isn't going to make her less nervous. Whatever is holding her back, more time probably won't resolve it because it's probably just scared. Okay. All right. So when I asked you guys before, how many of you came here on this call because you were looking to become a director? Actually, a couple of you did raise their hand. How many of you now are thinking, yeah, maybe someday I could be a director?
Oh, not someday, soon.
All right, good. All right. So you can see that at most of the times when I do this, when I say who came to this cooking show training because you want to be a director, no hands go up. After I do the Q&A round, I'll say, how many of you are now thinking, yeah, maybe? Usually every hand in the room goes up. This is the same that will be true with the Q&A round. People do not come to a Pampered Chef show looking for a job. And if you don't do a Q&A round, they will all leave not looking for a job. But if you do a Q&A round, most of them, some of them will think, I need information now. Some of them are going to think, well, maybe someday. Some of them are going to refer you to people who need this. But if you don't do the Q&A round, you won't get any leads. So there's a quote that I learned a long time ago. There's a recruit at every single party. The question is there a recruiter? Okay? So, yeah, you want to make sure to put this out to people. You are not going to be responsible for answering all their questions. You are just finding out who's interested. Then you can set up a 3-way call with you and your director to get this person's get all their questions answered. And then they can decide from there, once they have all the information, they can decide from there if it's something they want to do. So who asked the most questions?
I honestly didn't keep track.
You didn't?
And I think everyone asked good questions, a lot of questions.
Well, you guys are all going to have an opportunity. I'm going to be mailing you all things, so hang on. Okay. So after the Q&A round, I walk them through the survey slip. So let's go back. Where is the survey slip? I guess I don't have there. It is a handout that you got. It is different from the survey slips that the home office uses. I like the 1 through 10. Okay. And oops, he just getting noisy in the background there. Okay. So, and I walk people through this. So after the Q&A round, I say, okay, everybody, now you're going to fill out the survey slip. And if you take the time to answer all these questions, you're going to get an extra 50 points. Okay. So then I walk them through it. So the first question on here asks if you would like more information about the business opportunity. Okay, notice this does not say if you want to get married and have babies. It's just saying do you want more information about the business. We all have our own style. Here's what I say. 1 means, Karen, I wouldn't sell this if my kids were shoeless. 10 means absolutely, where do I sign? What have I got to lose? 75% off products. You know, let me order my kit tonight. And then you can circle whatever number reflects your interest level. The next thing asks, if your host were starting the business, would you be interested in having a party to help her get started? You can just check off yes or no for that. The next question asks if you're interested in earning free products by having a fun cooking show. 1 means, Karen, I don't want to have a show now. Don't call me in 6 months. I won't want one then either. In a year, nah, still not looking good. And if we die in this reincarnation, not even in another lifetime. Okay, no. 10 means absolutely I want to have a party, and yeah, I want one of those next dates so that I can get in on the free, the new catalog, and my host can get the extra credit. Then fundraisers or Facebook parties. That means you want to have a virtual party. It means, Karen, I love you dearly, but don't come to my house. No, let's do this all online virtually. The next question asks if you want information about Pampered Chef fundraisers. And then bridal show gift registry. Okay, so they can fill all that out, and then I tell them, you know, just hand this in, and if they fill this all out, they get an extra 50 points. Then we add up the points, and I give a prize to the person who has the most points. This is not a huge prize. This is just, you know, a mini serving spatula, a citrus peeler, a quick cut paring knife, things like that. Okay, so then we take these and we take them to our checkout. Okay, so everything that we're doing, remember I said we're going to run, and then there's going to be a lot of blah, 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 and then we want to stick the landing. The full service checkout is the landing. It's all about the checkout. We let people know what was in it for them if they had a party. We kind of gave them some information about the business during the Q&A round. But informing is not the same as inviting, okay? So it's when they come up to place their order that we have that opportunity to have a 2 to 3 minute conversation with each person. If you have 12 people at your party, and you start at it's a 7 o'clock show and you start at 7:15, you should be done by 8. People aren't usually running out the door. If there's 12 people there and you have a 2 to 3 minute conversation with each one of them, you're going to be done by 20 minutes of 9, little after 8:30. Okay, I start my shows at 6:30, so there's plenty of time. People aren't usually running out the door. So what I like about these the slips is that when people sit down, you know, the first thing I do is just kind of ask them some basic questions. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Let's not get to that yet. Okay. I ask them questions like, don't you have a fun time tonight? What was your favorite thing that you saw? What was your favorite thing about the party? When you're new, ask them, what did you enjoy the most? So that you know what your people are really enjoying and you can keep doing that. And I actually set their order aside for a minute. I just put it down, I look at them, and I'm talking with them. By the way, we now have express checkout You should have received an email about that. So people can actually go on their phone and put their whole order in and send it over to your laptop. So if you're using your laptop, whoop, over comes the order. So you don't even have to type anything in. It's a wonderful thing. But if you're new at that and you're just using your calculator, just don't worry about the order right now. Ask some basic questions to warm it up. And then what I usually say, if I can't think of anything else to say, when it comes to the business, I look right on there and I say, so I noticed that you've circled a 6 about the business opportunity. What makes it a 6 for you? Who wants to be my pretend host? I mean, my pretend guest checking out.
Me.
I will be.
Okay. Well, Jean first and then Terry, because we got a few.
Okay.
Jean, so Jean, I noticed that you circled a 6 about the business opportunity. I'm curious, what made it a 6 for you?
I could use some extra income now that my kids are grown.
Ah, okay. Very good. Yeah, I think we all can. Mine just graduated from college. I could use some extra income now, right about now. And then I'm going to take one of those brochures. I have what I call, well, I forget who created it, but it's a Just Think About It packet. Okay, so I have those ready, and basically it's got the recruiting brochure in it with some frequently asked questions and a little flyer that says the apron comes in 6 sizes. And all of those, the brochure comes in your kit. The other 2 things you should be able to find on your team Facebook group, for frequently asked questions and apron in 6 sizes. You can print some of those out. I just put them in an envelope or a little baggie, whatever. And those are people who want more information. So Jean, so you're looking to get more, you're looking for some extra income. Yeah, and you heard that the average brand new consultant, makes about $125 to $150 per party. So I'm curious, would you like to order your kit tonight, or would you be interested in taking some information home?
I'll take some information home. I have to run it by my husband.
Okay, all right, so great. So then I would give you some information. Now on my Just Think About It packets, let me grab one. I don't know how well you guys can see this, but it says Think About It, and it says, it has my web address and what they should click on to watch a little video. And then at the bottom it says, Let's Talk. Okay? So, and by the way, these are all of this information. If you go to YouTube and type in Stacy Itzel, Itzel, Think About It packet, there'll be a 4-minute video. The video is already on my team group and my Facebook group, so it might be on yours as well, because most often the directors we post what each other posts. But if you can't find it there, it's on YouTube and you'll see the whole thing there. So I would say, so Jean, so here's some information you can take home with you. And there's a little video that you might want to watch that's going to give you a little more information. Then I'd love to schedule a time to talk with you, just to kind of answer any questions you might have. And then you can decide from there if it's something you want to consider further. Is there a time that's good for us to connect in the next day or 2? What's your schedule like?
Yeah, maybe in 2 days.
Okay. So let's see. Today's Tuesday. So like Thursday evening?
Sure.
Okay. I'm home that evening. I'm pretty flexible. Is there a time that works good for you?
7.
7. Okay. So I'm going to write it right on here, and I'm going to hand her this, and I'm going to write it on her survey slip so I don't forget. Now, you guys are new. You don't have to do that. You can say, oh, great. Well, here's some information you can take home with you. But first, see if they want to sign up that night. Let's face it, it's $109. This isn't something that a lot of people think a lot about. They're like, yeah, no brainer. Where do I sign? So don't be surprised if they want to sign at the show. They can do that. If they want to take information home, you can say, now I'm brand new, as you know, but I'd love to set up a time where my trainer, who's fabulous, she's been doing it forever, and you and I can talk together, because most people, when they read through this information, it answers some questions, but it sparks others, and I want to make sure you get all the information you need. So is there a time over the next couple of days that works for you, and I can call my trainer and see if we can arrange a time to all talk together? Okay, so you're just giving them information and see if they want to talk further. If they can, find a couple of different pockets of time that work for your lead. that way, if your director isn't available one of those times, hopefully they can be available the other time. By the way, in your first 90 days of business, every time you have a person who signs your first 90 days, when they qualify, you get 100 Pampered Chef dollars. So, okay. So so Terry, you're not interested in the business, but you're thinking maybe about a show, but you've got some hesitation. So Terry, thanks so much for coming tonight. Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. What was your favorite thing tonight?
I think the recipe for the rock crock was my favorite.
Yeah, that rock crock is definitely amazing. So now I noticed it isn't on your slip that you're not buying the rock crock. However, you put a 5 down around the business. Well, actually, you put a 1 about the business. That's right. So you put a 1 about the business. I was really surprised to hear that because I'm telling you, with your personality, I think you could be really great at something like this. Are you sure you don't want to just take information home in case down the road life changes for you?
I would probably take some information. I just have a lot of questions. I'm a single mom. My daughter is a sophomore in college. Not sure, it's the right time to make that investment. I don't really know if my schedule is flexible enough at this moment.
Well, you know what? It definitely sounds like it's worth looking into. Okay, because just from what I've heard right here, most people who do Pampered Chef work a full-time job and have kids, and a lot of times they have 2 jobs and school and everything else, but they choose Pampered Chef because it is so flexible, and in just little pockets of time, you can actually make a meaningful income. Mm-hmm. So I would love to talk with you more about that. So notice that even though she circled a 1 about the business, I didn't just assume she was saying no for now, but she's not saying no forever. So even people who say no, I'll, if I feel like it could be a good fit for them, I'll say, I noticed you circle a 1, but gosh, your personality, I think it'd be a great fit for you. Are you sure you don't want to just take some information home? Almost everybody will at least take some information home. She's already shared.
That's how Lori got me.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I put a 2.
Yeah. So people change their minds. Okay. So don't think, oh, I'm not going to talk to this one about the business. We ask everyone. So I'm going to send her home with information and again, see if there's a time to talk. But Terry, I noticed that, you put a 9 about a show. So that's pretty cool. So when were you thinking you'd like to have a party?
I'm not really sure. My schedule's really busy. I do work 2 jobs. Okay. Maybe towards the end of the month.
Okay. All right. So I do occasionally shows on the weekends, and then I also do Tuesdays and Thursdays. Which one of those days is likely to be a good fit for you?
Sundays are the best days for me.
Sundays. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to grab my calendar here, and I've got the 17th open. Does that work for you? That's my first available Sunday.
17th looks good.
Okay. I find like 2 o'clock in the afternoon works really well. Does that work for you?
Can we do 1 o'clock?
We can do 1, sure. I wouldn't go any earlier than that. Some people like to sleep in. So, I'm offering dates that I've got available. All right.
Yeah.
Even though she says, I'm not really sure, I'm really busy. But now let's say Terry said to me, I'd love to have a party, but I'm just not sure I know enough people. Okay, the 3, we hear some common hesitations. But I think I'm going out of order because I made a new thing. So let me go back in order. Here are the common hesitations to the business opportunity. People say it sounds great, but I'm busy, just like Terry said. Mm-hmm. They don't know where they find shows. They can't cook. That's hardly ever a hesitation at my show because, we don't cook. I don't cook. Can't talk in front of you. So when we're at the full service checkout and somebody says, oh, I don't think this is for me, I am so busy, I'll just say something like, well, most people who do this business work full time and have children, and very often they go to school too. They choose it because in just little pockets of time, they can make a pretty meaningful income. Are you sure you don't want to take some information home? And then if they still say no, that's it, I'm done. But I want to make sure they're not thinking they're too busy when they could really be doing some virtual parties and making some money. If they say, I don't know where I'd find shows. Well, you know what? I find that when I just brainstorm with people for about 5 or 10 minutes, I can help almost everybody find a few pity parties, what I call pity parties. Those are people that you know that will have parties for you out of pity to help you give the business a try. But really, we can talk about that later. Right now, do you at least want to take some information home to look over? Okay, so then when we talk, I'll have some ideas ready to help you find meaningful parties. If they say, I can't cook, I say, either can I. That's why I made you all cook tonight. You don't have to cook for this business. Yeah, so how about take some information home? I'd love to talk with you further. Can't talk in front of people. Probably 90% of my team told me that.
That's funny.
Yeah, would you like to get over the fear of public speaking? This is a great way of doing it. You start with family and friends, so it's easy, and then you build up to the strangers. Or the people that I don't call them strangers, I call them new friends.
New friends, yeah.
If I could assure you that I could teach you a way to do parties, even though you're shy, would you want to learn more? Okay, then how about taking some information home? Now, do you think I was able to have this stuff roll off my tongue at my first party?
No.
Or my second party? Or my fifth party? No, it takes practice. But no matter what their hesitation is, if you can just give them a universal response, if I could show you a way around that, would you want to learn more?
Mm-hmm.
If they say yes, give them this and schedule the follow-up. Okay? So if I could show you a way around that, would you want to learn more? And give them one of the packets. Okay. Common hesitations to booking. I'd love to, but my house is too small. Do you guys have a solution for that?
Find another location?
Yeah, how about having a party? You know, maybe we could use a workplace. Maybe you got a sister, a mom.
I let people use my place.
There you go. If you live close enough and you've got a larger place, yeah. Sometimes they'll say, is your house too small? Is your kitchen too small? How many people can you fit in your living room? Because a lot of times if you're in someone's kitchen, they think we have to be in a kitchen. They don't realize we can be in the living room with a table there. So, but yeah, offer them a solution and then say, how does that sound? If they don't know enough people, what would you say to that?
Friends do you have on Facebook?
Yeah, how many friends do you have on Facebook? Oh my gosh, you have plenty of friends. I asked them, how many people do you know that you think would come to, how many people do you know that you think you could get to come to your party? They say, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4. And I say, and if I offered them a free gift for bringing a friend, do you think they would? Oh, maybe. Okay, 6, 8 people, that's good. Let's go for it. What do you think? Want to give it a try? I'm not going to try to, you know, I'm just giving them enough information to make them feel confident that they can have a party.
Right.
Okay, so on the Baddie Downline group, and hopefully if you don't find it on your team group, you can find it there. Ask your director for it. These are hesitation cards, okay? And so one of them says, what does this say? I don't know who would come, or I don't know enough people. And when you flip it over, here's what you say. Okay? Well, if they say, I don't know who would come, or I don't know enough people, oh, nobody ever knows who would come. But one of the great things is that everyone in the Pampered Chef has broad appeal. Plus, we could pick a theme that you think your friends would enjoy. Want to hear what themes I'm offering? And you can throw it in there. And then, how many people do you think you know? Well, if I offered them each a free gift, if they brought a friend, do you think they would? Great, then let's go for it. What do you think? So it's all right there. The words are all right there. So you guys can print out these hesitation cards. And you can have them at your shows, or you can have them as you're talking to people. When someone says, I can't right now, so now's not a good time. I don't have any money. Okay? Everybody I know, everybody I would invite is already here. My friends don't have money. My house is too small. I'm too busy. Okay, so there's a card for each one of these things with a solution. So you can print them out and you can bring them and have them at your checkout. And when they say something, you just take that card, flip it over, and read right what's on it. But if you don't have these in time for your next party, find out what their hesitation is. Write it on their survey slip. Take lots of notes on their survey slip because you're going to be talking to your director after your party. And if they took information about the business, what time their follow-up is, if they are maybe about a show and they had a hesitation, I can't because my house is too small. That's not a no. Because if their house weren't too small, then they would. Okay, so that's just a hesitation. House too small, don't know enough people. Write the big dog. Like sometimes people, I can't, I have a mean dog. And you're like, oh, I don't even know what to say to that. They didn't cover that one. Just write big, mean dog. And when you talk to your director, we'll offer you a solution. And then you can contact that person and say, hey, I was just thinking about your situation. I have an idea that I think might work for you if you have a minute to talk. You can text them that after they have a minute to talk. So we can help you with the follow-up, help you with any hesitations you hear. Super important when you're new, for at least your first 10 parties. You should be talking to your director after every single party. Tell us what you're hearing. When you get a booking, we're happy for you. We cheer for you. But cheering, while it's fun and we love to do it, is not helping your business at all. But if you've got a hesitation and we can help you with solutions, that's going to help you move the ball forward, right? It's going to help you with that particular lead, perhaps, but it's also going to help you the next time you hear that same hesitation. You'll be armed and ready with solutions. So you're all going to hold up your hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do
solemnly swear.
I will call my director after every party.
I will call my director after every party.
Talk about what you're hearing. Okay. So they're not saying no. Here are the solutions. House too small. How about hosting with someone who has a bigger place? Hosting outside if the weather's good. A virtual party is the backup plan. Okay. Don't know enough people. Just what I said. How many do you think you know? If I offered them a free gift to bring a friend, do you think they would come? Busy. Can I tell you how easy I make it for you? It only takes about 15 minutes longer. And it took you to be here tonight to be the host. Okay, so guys, if you want a copy of this PowerPoint and you want me to send you some door prizes because you sat through this training for 2 hours, email me, kbchef@comcast.net, kbchef@comcast.net.
KB Shep?
Chef, like as
Chef.
K,
As in cook, right?
chef as in cook, @comcast.net. In the subject line, put NCT, which is New Consultant Training. And then give me your full name and address and your email address. If you give me your email address, I'll send you the entire PowerPoint so you've got all of this stuff here in writing if you want to look at it.
Perfect.
Okay? All right. The host rewards, just briefly going through it, it's based on the product sales, not including shipping and handling and tax. Okay? If they get their free product, they get their half price items. Can their free product go to cover half price items?
Yes.
No.
They can't?
No, nope. Free stuff has to be regularly priced items. Yeah. And then their 30% discount is on everything else. They don't get it at half off and then 30% off.
Right. 3
separate columns. So they pick their free stuff, they pick their half price items, everything else is at the discount.
Okay.
On product amount only, not including shipping and handling. Now, when you go home and type your orders into the system, it calculates all of that for you. So you don't have to worry about doing the math right. After the party's over, you're going to be talking to your director, hopefully within 24 hours. You're going to review with the host where her sales are at and what they've got coming to them so far. But most parties will go up $100 to $200 after the party's over. There's usually some last-minute cancellations. There's usually some people who said that they were going to place outside orders. So review all those tips for helping them get additional outside orders. By the way, that's the big thing that we cover in Business Basics is host coaching. So we'll cover that in much more detail there. Set a time to close the show with the host within 48 hours if possible. I know it might sound crazy, but the tighter in the close date, the more outside orders they get. Pampered Chef did research. If the host says to a friend, oh, I'm going to keep it open for a week, so just get me your order whenever you can. I don't want to rush you. People have already, they've known about the party for a couple of weeks now and haven't gotten their
Mhm.
If you give them another week, all they're going to do is procrastinate another week, and then the host is going to be like, forget it. They've had 3 weeks. I don't want to call them back. But if the host says to their friends, oh, so I'm sorry you couldn't make it to my party tonight, but I'm keeping it open to Thursday. Here's the link. That people go, oh, I better hurry up and order. So they order on the spot when the close date is soon. And then, so you're going to schedule time to close with the host. I have them just use the link for any orders that come in after the fact. I don't want them writing it on paper. But if they must, they can write it on paper and take a picture and send it to me. I encourage them. I don't want any cash or checks after the party, credit or debit only. If their friends don't use credit or debit, I have their friends give the host cash or a check made out to her, and she can throw it on her credit or debit card so we don't have to meet up for payment. And you're also, after the party, going to follow up with these show leads. So call your director. We'll help you with the follow-up. Follow-up, because when those parties are booked before the show is sent in, the host is going to get the booking credit. All right. Then when you close with the host, you can do that right over the phone. If they're technically savvy, they can go right on there and type in their whole order for you, right in there. But after the party, usually, okay, so remember there's that line on the here that says, if your host were to become a consultant, would you have a party to help her get started? So I always talk to the host about the business before the party. Most of them say no thanks. But after the party, I'll sit down with the host and I'll say, so your sales tonight are like $700, a little over $700. Do you know if you were the consultant, you would have made about $150 tonight? I know that when we talked before your show, you said you weren't really interested, but I feel like I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't let you know that 4 people said if you were to give the business a try, they'd help you have a party to get started. So are you sure? Is this something you'd like to reconsider? Do you think people reconsider at this point?
Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of them do. Most people, the first time they're asked about the business, say no. How many of you said no the first time someone asked you? I said no.
Me. I said no.
Yep. But we all changed our minds, right? And most people, most hosts are thinking, nobody makes any real money at this. I don't know who would have a party. No, I'm not interested. Now they see how much their friends spent. They hear how much they would have made. They see that their friends have checked off, yes, I would have a party with her. So, and then you let them know they can use either $25 or $50 of their host free product, and they can reserve it as kit credit to put towards the food if they like. So while you're telling them about their host rewards, you can say, by the way, you've got this kit credit available, and let me show you how many people said they wanted to have parties. And then I'm not saying, so do you want to do it? I'm saying, so you sure this is something you want to reconsider? Now, guys, this is new consultant training. You're not going to remember every bit of this. But this is what I'm going to be talking to the director after every party, because we're going to remind you of these things. You want to track your results. This is the monthly tracker. It can be found on the on Consultants Corner, as well as on your team Facebook page under the file section. Fill it in every month. See what your attendance is looking like. See how many people are taking information home about the business. How many people signed, how many bookings, things like that. Fill in these numbers. Each row aligns with a skill. These will all be covered during Business Basics in 2 weeks. We cover all the skills that go with each of these columns. So now everybody has columns that fall naturally into place. At the top, what the goals could be, and then so at the bottom, if the numbers aren't matching up, some rows you're going to be right on, and some rows aren't, and that's okay. Everybody has that experience. Different rows fall into place for different people depending on your life experience and your current skill level. But your current skill level is just that, your current skill level, and each of these skills can be learned. But when you fill these in, you'll see trends, and you'll see what parts of your business need a little tweaking. Okay, need a little fine tuning. Okay. Now, if you want to watch a live cooking show, find a consultant in your area who's been in business a while and see if you can go view their party. We have a little show etiquette. If you view their party, don't talk to the party, don't take over the party, and offer to do their dishes at the end. Okay? But also, you can go on to Consultants Corner and type in cooking show videos in the search engine, and you'll find a few of them there to watch. Okay, so you can watch it start to finish. You'll see great booking talks, you'll see some great power tool talks, and you'll see everything. These are live cooking shows in action. You see it all. They're not scripted. Okay, so, and these are real live consultants, top in their field. All right, so questions?
What was the thing training that needed to be put in the
To type in to find the cooking show, put in cooking show videos.
no, to get this PowerPoint, because I missed the first part.
Oh, okay. Yes, actually, here's what you're going to do. You're going to send me an email with NCT, which stands for New Consultant Training, in the subject line. You're going to send me your name and address and your email, and please answer the following questions. On a scale of 1 to 10, how helpful did you find this training? Number 2, what was most helpful? Number 3, what do you need more information about? And if in your first 90 days of business, on a scale of 1 to 10, how interested are you in Fast Track? Fast Track is when you become a director in your first 90 days, and you get the Fast Track bonuses range from $500 to $2,000. If you think that doing about 8 parties in a month, live and virtual included, 6 to 8 a month, you're probably going to be in front of enough people to make that happen. We have fast track directors on our team. You won't be the first and you won't be the last. It's definitely doable. If you're thinking, yeah, but I'm not sure, well, like anything else, get information first, and then you can decide if it's something you want to go for. All right, so I'm going to stop the screen share. Yes, if you send me that email and you include your email address, I will assume you want me to send you the PowerPoint. I'll hit reply and send you the PowerPoint so you have all of this information on hand to look back at. Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Thank you for taking the time to share with us.
Oh, my pleasure. And it sounds like most of you are long distance. Any of you in the New Hampshire area that would be coming to the sales meeting next week I'm going to meet?
Well, Molly and I we're in North Shore, Mass.
Okay. So, but you go to Lisa's sales meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, so I won't see you there, but hopefully.
Where do you do your sales meeting? Because I'm on the border, so when I say Vermont, I went to the Fallout party at Southern New Hampshire.
That is where we have our sales meetings at SNH.
Yeah.
It's in a different
That's where I went.
Okay, so it's in a different building. That was a big regional one that everybody came to in our
yeah.
whole. So we use one of their classrooms for our monthly sales meeting. So that's next month.
Oh, cool.
And so Terry, that would be great. Hope to see you there. Okay, so like I said, this is a foundational training. We don't expect that you're going to take all of this and be a pro all at once. It's on-the-job training. Have fun. Remember, that's what our customers say they want the most. Not perfection, but fun. My first year in business was very, very, very imperfect. It was also very profitable. Okay, I earned a trip. I earned money. I became a director. All of that while dropping stuff, forgetting stuff, not being able to answer any questions. But I still did it. So don't worry about perfect. Have fun with it. Okay?
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
You too.